boy just
play that drug.
Hey, welcome to Space Gab, my Space Watch podcast. I'm Mike Coletta. It's 7 March 2019. Space Gab can be heard at www.spacegabpodcast.com. Well, today's Space Gab is going to be a sit-down with Elliot Weaver and Zander Weaver of Elliander Pictures. I've talked about them in previous podcasts. They're the creators of the movie COSMOS. It's going to be coming out pretty soon, as I found out today. But man, we had a great talk. We talked for about an hour, and I was able to get about 30 minutes of interview material for this podcast, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. So without anything further, I'm going to turn it on over to me and Elliot and Zander talking about COSMOS. I'm talking with Elliot and Zander Weaver from Elliander Pictures. All right, this is great. The movie COSMOS, I get to interview them.
That's it.
Really cool.
This is it, and we're thrilled that you love it, and we're thrilled that you're part of it, and it's just brilliant to talk to you, to be honest. It is, because we've heard so much of your stuff, and all while we were making the film, we were listening to your podcasts and everything, so you kept us company. You kept us company.
And surprised me, I was the first one you hear on the film with my voice.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got the opening. It's all yours, Mike.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Where exactly are you at? Where do you live?
We live in Birmingham, which is sort of in the Midlands. It's sort of halfway between north and south, and halfway across the country, really. I mean,
when did you start filming the movie?
We began filming in September 2015.
Okay.
And we, because of the nature of the project, it was sort of a basically no budget film.
Right, yeah.
We made ourselves with no outside help. We shot the film over 12 months in little blocks when the actors were available.
Okay.
But we first started filming in September 2015 and we finished in August 2016.
When did you find Space Gab?
Oh, very early days. Yeah, very early on. So we actually I think we contacted you before we'd even written the script, because we wanted to include you in the script, but we didn't want to sort of take that liberty of going, let's include him and then contact him. We wanted to make sure we had your permission. So I would say actually around September 2013 is when we found Space Gab. So the podcast of May 2013 that's in the film was very, very recent at that time. Yeah.
Okay.
And we had this idea for the opening of the film. The guys are driving along on their way to the night that's ahead. And we really wanted something on the radio, didn't we? And so we went browsing and looking for things, and we came across your podcast. And thought, perfect, it would just fit perfectly.
It sets the scene so nicely, to for an audience to get into the story and realise what this film's about, and to hear you talking so passionately about space. We think it just is a perfect opening.
It's fun as well, and that's something that's great about your podcasts. They're like educational, but they're also really entertaining. You kind of inject this character into them, and it's just full of passion. And we were just like, wow, if we could have some of that in the film, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, and you captured it. What inspired? I can't talk too much about the movie because it's not out yet.
Sure.
Because I don't want to tell people what happened in the movie. But what inspired the whole concept? What the whole movie itself? What inspired you to do that?
Well, before we made Cosmos, we made a series of documentaries for TV, and they were all about the Apollo program. I think we did 9 hours in the end.
Yeah, we did 9 shows.
And when we were making those shows, we just completely fell in love with NASA, with space science, engineering, and we were in awe of the engineers and the ground team almost as much as we were with the astronauts, and their calm, cool, considered approach and how they would work the problems, and we thought actually
wouldn't it be great if there was a movie that instead of depicting these people as like nerds or outsiders or geeky people, that actually depicts them in an accurate light, which is they're actually amazing people and they're really cool. And we basically wanted to create a film that celebrated, science, engineering, and space, and all of these different topics, and hopefully, inspire other people to kind of look at it a bit differently and go, I want to be like them as well. So we were heavily inspired by Apollo era, all the patter and all the talk between mission control and the astronauts and everything. We tried to kind of pull a bit of that into the film when our characters interact, when things get serious. So that was a big inspiration for us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've always loved science fiction movies. We've always been interested in space and the moon. But then, like Zander said, when it came to this idea of like, what are we going to make a film about? We've got limited resources. How about we set it over one night with these guys listening to space and observing space? And that's where the core idea was born, really.
Really nice. Yeah, I did see the Saturn V documentary.
Yes.
And
story, yeah.
You guys did a great job on it. I mean, it was so detailed. You explained the whole space race pretty much, and then you explained the intricacies and how the Saturn V was assembled and just everything. I mean, just starting out with the V2s and operating paperclip and all that. It was just something. Yeah. It was really good. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's just an incredible story, isn't it? Like, what was achieved in that decade is just incredible.
Yeah.
And then they continue to achieve, but there's something very, I don't know, something very...
it's kind of romantic.
Very romantic now to look back on the space race.
I love the Apollo, Gemini, Mercury time and all that. It just...
so exciting.
Yep. Okay, so the three actors, the three astronomers, it was really well done, because if you didn't have all three at that location, they wouldn't have gathered it all the information and known, the outcome. They wouldn't have figured it all out without all three of them there, because each one of them each one you had your radio astronomer, you had your optical astronomer, and you had your satellite guy. And all three, it had the storyline had to do with all three. They all were mixed in. With one gone, you wouldn't have been able to figure it out probably.
I love that. I love that you picked up on that, because it's you've got the subplots to the story, or the character relationships between the characters, and their friendships and whether they're getting on and all that. And then at the top you've got the main plot, which is what's occurring during the film in terms of, is this signal real? What's going to happen? And we wanted to sync the subplots with the main plot, really. We wanted to coinciding with the character development, have the plot follow along with it. And the whole point that you've spotted that, like, we needed each of those three to make this work. Together, they needed to come together as a team, and it has multiple layers. So it's really awesome that you picked up on that. And it's just they've each got their own passion, really, and their own discipline, and we wanted for each of them to play a critical part in it. So that's really great.
Yeah, and I can't say too much yet, but I kind of figured out why they were hearing it and the others weren't, and because of other things that happened with one or the other, his what he was interested in. So that's what I'm saying. It all came together. It was great. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I mean, again, it's like, if you can start to, as an audience member, if you start to maybe figure it out before they do, and you're along with the ride with them, that's really cool also, because it shows that you're engaging with the story, and that's all we could hope for, really.
We kind of hope that people will watch it and actually maybe be inspired to try one of those three things out. Maybe go and track some satellites, maybe go and listen to space, or get a telescope and have a look.
Well, we actually, during the filming of Cosmos, we were talking to the guys, the actors that we had, and none of them had a particular background in space, or it wasn't their passion's acting, obviously. So, but during the course of the filming,
we did a lot of filming outside at night for the night exterior scenes, and there was one particular night where it just wasn't going our way. We were filming in the woods, and it just wasn't going our way, and it started to rain, so the batteries ran out, and we called it early. We were like, okay, never mind, we'll try again tomorrow. And we walked out from under the woods, and because we were in the middle of nowhere, above us was this just incredible sky, super clear. We were a long way from the city, so there was no light pollution or anything. And the actors suddenly, you could hear, and they suddenly got it. It suddenly clicked with them. All the things that their characters were talking about, it suddenly clicked with them. And then what? And then Zander spotted a satellite, because obviously we know what we're looking for, and he was like, look, there's a satellite, and they're like, no. And we're like, that's what it looks like.
And obviously this was in the script that they were acting out, and so they got it. After that, there was a click point really where after that they really understood what they were doing in the film.
And just the beauty of looking up at the stars at night and just being in awe of it. So
it was magical.
Nice. Yeah, they just all did such it was just a great job of acting also. It was just, it was like
really good.
Yeah, you were there with them, I was there in the back watching them, and they're the fourth team member there. So
perfect. I mean, honestly, like in some of our,
you're saying all the things
you are like in some of the documentation we've written up for the film to promote it, we've used things like we want the audience to be the fourth person in the car with them, and so it's amazing to hear that, and really wonderful. The other thing that happened actually when we were filming is in the film, as you know, there's a section where a character talks about why he kind of fell in love with astronomy, and he talks about when he was younger and he went out with his dad to watch the Perseid meteor shower.
Yes.
And on the final night, on the final week that we were shooting, we were outside, and it was during the kind of phase of the Perseid meteor shower, and I think on the very last night, or maybe the penultimate night, we'd just wrapped, and someone suddenly said, look up, there's meteors, I swear I just saw a meteor. And everyone just looked up and were waiting. We were all waiting, anticipating and hoping we'd see something.
Someone would go, I saw something, and everyone would be like,
wait, I missed it. It was a magic moment. And then across the sky was this amazing comet trail, green, luminous, and everyone saw it, and we all just erupted with excitement over seeing it. It was a really amazing kind of underline to the whole production. Really, we'd made this movie in this really kind of ad hoc guerrilla way on our own, and this small team of people were all just under the stars, and we'd shared this amazing moment. It was quite poetic, really. It was.
Yeah, that was. I mean, myself being involved in all three of those categories that those guys were involved in. I mean, it really meant a lot just watching that to me, and what I kind of like, wow, I wish I was there turning that knob, or I wish I was looking, where they moved the telescope, how that tracked and all this. It was just perfect. I mean, having that knowledge that they had that added that to the storyline. As far as release, now you guys are saying, will it be released in a certain country first, or?
Yeah. Well, we're currently talking to a few distributors, and it's all looking great. We've got deals on the table, which are just wonderful.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean, we're really excited to. We'll be announcing soon, kind of how that's going to happen. But it will be released in America first, I think, in the US, and but it will be available internationally as well. So I think the strategy is that it will roll out in America, and then it will be sold internationally to different countries as well, on different platforms, ranging from TV and some video-on-demand platforms like Netflix maybe, and things like that. So hopefully people will get an opportunity to check it out in their own country, wherever they are.
Oh yeah, because once it's released, it's people that have seen movies similar to that. I don't think there's been a movie that's incorporated all what you guys have incorporated in, because people that watch Contact, it's like I say, it's like Contact on steroids.
Yeah. So I get that printed up and put on the wall. You know?
Yeah, and it is, because they're using the big dish and all that, and people can relate more to what these three were doing, because, like you said, anybody can do that.
Yeah, that's a really great point, actually. You know, they are like amateur astronomers, aren't they?
It's their passion.
Anybody can get some of this equipment and start to learn about it and have a go. So, yeah, actually, that's a wonderful point.
Yeah, because the equipment, I mean, they'd have to put a small investment in, but nothing like renting a big dish somewhere or renting a whole facility, something like that. But because you can hear things, you know, I mean, I've listened to space before and things like this with satellites, but, you know, nothing like what they had done. I don't have the equipment to do that. But this actually it might inspire people to actually go out into that, because that.
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah, I'd love that.
And then just, you know, and small kids too. When kids see this, I mean, it'll be for all ages. I mean, adults, all up to old men like me, you know, that enjoy it. So.
Old men, Mike? Old men? What are you talking about?
I'm pretty old. I'm on Social Security, so.
Well, you've worked hard for the country, so they should be looking after you.
Quite right.
Yeah, I sure did. I was proud of what I did, but I had fun when I did it too. I always looked for the jobs that were, you know, happy. I could be happy in, and also help out too. So
that's the perfect combination.
Yeah.
Now, there in the movie, there's the mention, and I didn't see the mention on your website anywhere, as far as the database for the movie databases. They didn't mention any big dish type facilities. What gave you the idea for that?
In the story, or
in the story. You don't have to mention any names or anything, but I know how, watching the movie, it's easy for me to tell how you got that information because of something that they had done. But
I see.
Yeah, that's
I think I know what you.
Yeah, it's a.
I know.
I think I know what you. The idea from that. How did we come up with the idea from that? I think that was just.
I just think that was research. We just looked into.
I think we looked into. Things that have happened in sort of recent scientific.
It's all very vague.
Recent scientific sort of experiments and demonstrations, and then I think we, at some point, we must have had a conversation about wouldn't it be really cool if that was included, and then it's sort of, I guess for the average audience member it might not click so much, but for people who are up to speed with what's been happening and what has happened, it just grounds it a little bit more in feasibility and makes it feel, oh well, actually that is plausible and that could happen, I guess, and it just adds another layer of depth to the film, really, from a scientific point of view, because again, one of the things we've in the past with the documentaries that we've made, one of the very first documentaries we made was about Apollo 13, and
Apollo 17 or Apollo 13.
The Apollo 13 one, and we interviewed several people who were British engineers on the project, and they on the Apollo program, and they're now back in England, but they work at the British Interplanetary Society. So we made this documentary, and they were like, "Oh, we'd like to screen it to the members of the British Interplanetary Society," and we were like, "Oh my word! Like, I hope we've got all our facts and figures straight." But they were really complimentary of how accurate the documentary was, and the efforts we'd gone to, and actually that was a really good experience for us and reference for us, and has encouraged us moving forward with our projects to try and make things as accurate as possible as they can be. Researching what would be the protocols for such a discovery, and again, there is a bit of creative license taken in order to make it feasible within a 2-hour film, but at least it's not completely made up or completely fiction based.
So it did add realism, using that station used realism, and the people listening to the podcast, you're going to have to wait for the movie to find out what we're talking about. But if you don't, you'll know about this when it's mentioned. But it just added realism, and it brought it all together again. What now what you did mention online about the radio signals coming from possible alien objects, and Contact had something going from a faraway star, and this was, as they said, it was the response came a lot quicker. That was ingenious that you did that, and how you did that, because people that would have known, they said, well, yeah, it takes a long time to get us reply this many light years away, but how you guys fit that in, that was right on, spot on.
Thank you. It's one of those things, isn't it, that in movies that it's a challenge that you face with that kind of story. If you're receiving a signal or sending a signal, you're thinking, well, it's going to take forever to get back to them, and it's going to take forever for them to reply to us, and if they ever get it. And so we wanted to try and figure out a way that these characters could actually send a message out, and almost as a bit of fun, really. No one's ever going to hear this. Let's just put it out there. I love what I do. And then to receive something back so soon, it challenges all of their understanding. We've actually had because we put the trailer up online, we've had a comment, a very nice comment, but somebody commenting, basically trying to correct our scientific understanding of, like, this film looks great, but, they wouldn't receive a signal that quickly, and we were like, aha! We've got you. You've got to see the full film. Yes, exactly. And we've had a few theories, haven't we? People have gone, I reckon, it's this, and I think it might be that. Yeah, that's quite exciting.
But when the film does come out, what is the audience you're probably going to be focusing on, and you're hoping that will watch this film?
When the film comes out, we hope that ideally we hope to get as wide an audience as possible, because our primary aim is to entertain people and attract people to the subject of space science and astronomy, and for people who might not have looked up at the stars in such a way, maybe bring them into that way of thinking of going, I might listen to space, or I might get a telescope or get a pair of binoculars and look up. And for the audience, really at the core of the film, the astronomers and the scientists and the engineers, we hope that they find the film and that they enjoy it. They enjoy it because they understand it, perhaps in a way that a general audience won't, or the depth of it. We hope they see themselves in it, and they see their passion for what they do in it. They see that we've tried to be respectful of that and try and not dumb it down and not take liberties with it, and just enjoy it and feel that they've been represented in a positive way. Really, feel that they've had their movie, and we when we do talk to people and they go, what have you been working on, and we say, we've made a film about guys that find a signal. Sometimes you do get people roll their eyes as if, that story again. And actually, when you think about it, we've sat a long time and thought about it. We don't actually think there have been that many movies on this subject, particularly about a group of amateurs and astronomers who have a passion for it. So we actually think we've got quite a unique little story, and it's a story about people, and it's a story about their passion, and we just hope whoever finds it, however they find it, that they have 2 hours of fun, and it makes them think and laugh and smile.
Right. Yeah, as I said, I think I said it in one of the podcasts, that it's you're going to have, as obviously people that enjoy satellites, enjoy radio astronomy, enjoy optical astronomy, ham radio operators, shortwave listeners, people who are into the Project Blue Book stuff, Area 51, and that's with Project Blue Book hitting the History Channel as they have, and it's taken off. People are really enjoying it. So what a perfect time for your film to come down.
And
we're very lucky actually.
We are.
Yeah, and I think there's been a general, from a general population, a general audience point of view, I think things come in waves, and I feel like you just said, there's a bit of a resurgence of interest in the unknown, in space again. There's all sorts going on at the moment, with SpaceX, that's really exciting people about, again, looking up to the skies. So, yeah, I think we're very fortunate that I think it's coming out at just the right time, and, it's not a big movie, there's no superstars in it and all this kind of thing, but hopefully people will be able to find it, and, if they enjoy it, then we'll be really happy about that, because really, it's such a small film. It's been made in a way without any support from the industry or outside sources or anything. We've just made it on our own, and the idea that it could go out to the world and people all over the world can enjoy it it's really fulfilling, and it's really exciting for us. It's an amazing thing, and can't wait for people to hopefully,
and we hope that people that go out there and watch it, they'll be curious about the Space Gab podcast.
Hopefully
they'll Google you, and that'll be it.
Hopefully. You never know, Mike. We could all be sitting on this massive movie, and you're going to be a star.
I don't want to be a star.
No, me neither. I don't either.
I really enjoyed how you guys. I don't know what you do when you produce the movie. I guess you edit it and take things out and move things around, and the music. That was really well done. I mean, there was, when I heard that it was a no-budget film or low-budget film, it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like there's a low or no-budget film.
Oh, that's amazing. It's a real compliment, because, it was just, the crew consisted of Elliot, myself, and our mom.
Yeah.
And we occasionally had some friends that might come along on a night or two just to help with the smoke machine or something like that, but really it was a crew of 3, and it was a core cast of 3, and then even into post-production when we edited it and put it all together, it was just Elliot and I and all the visual effects and everything, and we had a really talented composer that we worked with called Chris Davey, and we worked really closely with him, and he wrote this lovely music for it, and it was a really long journey, and it wasn't easy, and sometimes we went a bit crazy, I think.
We did.
But we're immensely proud of it, and to hear that you don't feel like it looks or feels like a small movie is a real compliment. So thank you very much.
No, not at all. It was nice, and especially after I watched your documentary on the Saturn V, I'm going to mention that also. That was really well put together too. I'm looking forward to seeing the Apollo one. That you gave me the link.
Thank you. Yeah. We'll have to. We've got a couple. We'll have to send them.
Yeah, if you want, we'll send them all over. We've got there's one on Apollo 13. There's one on Apollo 17, and then the last pair of documentaries we did was a bit more of a sort of a broad audience thing, which is it's a 2-part documentary called NASA's 10 Greatest Achievements, and it's sort of like a countdown show going through all their sort of top 10 moments, really.
Yeah,
but we love it. I mean, we love watching them and making them. And
and it was all the British accents that I heard. I said, it was all British accents in that documentary.
Yeah, I know. And that was amazing to learn about as well, because, let me just go.
He's turned on there. There we go. Yeah, I think Zander was going to say that one thing that was amazing with doing the documentaries was learning, obviously, in the Apollo program is this incredible American achievement, and is this what you were going to say?
Exactly. Yeah, we got the same.
Yeah, it was this incredible American achievement where the nation was mobilized and just did this incredible thing. But to learn that there were many people from other nations as well that came across and contributed in the scientific area. It was made us kind of very almost proud to be a little part of it, as well as Brits, to feel like some Brits had been involved and stuff, and
also to get their view on those moments in time and the moments in history. It's a lot of them were saying like they felt like NASA was doing it for mankind, and everyone was watching, and it felt like there was a unified Earth for a brief moment in time, that everybody was looking up and wow, we'd made it to the moon. So It was the whole thing just inspires us immensely, and real privilege making those documentaries and meeting those people. But we'd love to come over to America and talk to interview some engineers from the project, and that'd be a dream.
Well, you might be able to after this movie comes out, and I'm sure once they learn about all your documentaries. I mean, over there, being at Cape Canaveral Kennedy Space Center, that was a lot of fun. Elliot, Zander, thank you so much. It was good meeting you. And
it's been great fun. I mean, oh, what is this? We're on Space Gab, El.
Hey, I'm in Cosmos. Yahoo! Man, wasn't that cool? What a good interview. Thank you so much, Elliot and Zander Weaver of Elliander Pictures. Cosmos is going to be phenomenal. I'll tell you, when it comes out, and I'm so glad to hear that it's going to be coming out really soon. You guys that are enjoying the podcast and enjoy all things about the podcast and enjoy all things about space, you're going to love this movie. You're going to love this. As I said before, wow, wow, wow. My triple wow for the movie Cosmos. Hey, thanks for listening to Space Gab today. Until next week, this is Mike Coletta. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Space Cowboy, just play that drug.